Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Young and restless Nikki is already dealing with the reappearance of dastardly Ian Ward in Genoa City, so the return of another frightful figure from the past may just be enough to push her to the brink and send her over the edge. Claire has recently had two near misses with her Aunt Jordan, and is about to realize that creepy feeling she got after those encounters was for good reason. Jordan is out of prison and running around town ordering oolongs and Americanos in a blonde wig and glasses. Young and restless spoilers assure us that Claire will alert Victoria and Nikki to Jordan's return immediately, which will only compound the anxiety her grandmother has been feeling over Ian. Nikki's stress is indeed about to skyrocket, and we all know what happened the last time she dealt with the return of the woman who forced her off the wagon with a vodka IV. She began drinking again. We'd like to think that the blonde matriarch is strong enough to face the return of Jordan without taking refuge in a bottle, but on the heels of Ian's comeback, there's no question she'll be tempted. Heck, teasers even have Victor becoming suspicious of his wife toward week's end. With Nikki and Claire helming Chancellor Industries, the sudden shift in focus to Jordan's return could provide an opportunity for someone looking to get their foot back in the door at the firm. Someone like Billy. The Newmans' villain problems aren't going to go away overnight, and if Nikki falls off the wagon again, the company could well become a sitting duck. We already have a hunch that Billy and Sally's romantic plans will be scuttled by Phyllis, and this news would surely lure him from Paris. Jordan's return, as the Newmans are already facing the threat of Ian, is bound to rock the family, who can only have their irons in so many fires. Can Nikki and Claire battle the madwoman and stave off a takeover attempt at Chancellor simultaneously? Soaps readers will have to tune in to find out. In the ever-turbulent world of the young and the restless, few storylines can rival the drama and complexity of Nikki Newman's journey. As one of the show's longest-running characters, Nikki has gone through love, heartbreak, betrayal, and redemption, with each new chapter adding layers to her character. But her ongoing struggle with alcoholism has been one of the most prominent themes, making any new relationship or situation in her life one that fans examine through the lens of this past trauma. Now, with Jordan Wilde returning to Genoa City, questions are swirling. Will Nikki, in a moment of vulnerability or temptation, start drinking again? Could Jordan's return trigger her darkest impulses? To understand the potential implications of Jordan's return, it's essential to revisit Nikki's history with alcohol. For years, Nikki's battle with alcoholism has been one of the defining elements of her character. Her spiral into addiction has been marked by moments of despair, shame, and the harsh realization of her inability to control her impulses. Throughout her struggle, Nikki has found herself in dangerous situations, losing jobs, relationships, and even her sense of self. But through it all, Nikki has shown resilience, working hard to maintain her sobriety and reconcile with the people she loves. Yet, sobriety is never easy. In the world of the young and the restless, where conflict, temptation, and high-stakes drama are constant, Nikki's sobriety has always been fragile. Despite the love and support of her family, particularly from her husband Victor Newman, the pressures of her past and the darkness within her psyche can sometimes feel insurmountable. Jordan Wilde, a character who was first introduced as a figure from Nikki's past, is no stranger to the complexities of Nikki's emotional world. Their relationship, which began as a professional one, eventually evolved into something more personal, full of tension, unresolved feelings, and a hint of danger. Jordan has a magnetic presence, and his charm and unpredictable behavior have always made him a character difficult to trust, especially for someone as cautious and self-aware as Nikki. Jordan's history with Nikki is filled with moments of unease. He's not just a person from her past. He's a reminder of the risks and temptations that always lurk, even when Nikki is doing her best to stay clean. Their interactions were often filled with simmering tension, and it was clear that Jordan had a way of pushing Nikki's boundaries, something she's fought so hard to control. The fact that Jordan has returned to Genoa City suggests that his role in Nikki's life is far from over, and it's easy to imagine that the past will re-enter her life in a way that makes her wonder if she's truly in control. The return of Jordan Wilde marks a pivotal moment for Nikki, one that forces her to confront old demons, while also evaluating her present. On the one hand, she has worked incredibly hard to build a life of stability and sobriety. Her relationship with Victor is stronger than ever, and she's become a respected figure in the community. But the return of Jordan, a man from a time in her life when her choices were more reckless, could destabilize everything. The dynamic between Nikki and Jordan is not just one of flirtation or old romantic feelings. It's about power, control, and temptation. Jordan has an uncanny ability to draw people in, and Nikki's past experiences with him prove that she can easily become swept up in his influence. The mere presence of someone like Jordan can spark long-buried feelings, and for someone like Nikki, who has always struggled with her sense of self-worth, it may be hard not to get caught up in the whirlwind. One of the most intriguing aspects of Jordan's return is his ability to act as a catalyst for Nikki's inner conflict. Having been through her sobriety struggles, it's not inconceivable that Nikki, in a moment of weakness, might find herself turning to old habits. This doesn't necessarily mean she would start drinking immediately. However, Nikki's relationship with alcohol has always been about vulnerability, and if Jordan's actions, words, or even the memories he stirs up start to push Nikki into a space where she feels inadequate, isolated, or out of control, the temptation to seek solace in alcohol could grow stronger. For Nikki, the stakes are incredibly high. Her family, especially her children and Victor, have seen her battle with addiction firsthand. They've seen the depths to which she has fallen and the lengths she's gone to in order to stay sober. Victor, while often seen as a stoic and controlling figure, genuinely cares for Nikki's well-being. He has been her rock through many turbulent times, and he is acutely aware of the potential danger of Jordan's return. For Victor, Jordan represents more than just a man from Nikki's past. He represents everything that could unravel the progress Nikki has made. Nikki's children, particularly Nicholas and Victoria, have also been affected by her struggles with alcoholism. They have witnessed the pain it caused her and her family, and they would undoubtedly be concerned by the prospect of her relapsing. But, as in many soap operas, families can be both a source of strength and a source of conflict. Nikki's desire to protect her family from the darkness of her past could lead her to isolate herself emotionally, and in those vulnerable moments, Jordan's return could become a source of tension, further testing her resolve. Ultimately, the question of whether Nikki will start drinking again boils down to her sense of control. Throughout her journey on The Young and the Restless, Nikki has always been portrayed as a character who values control above all else. Control over her emotions, her relationships, and her actions. However, her struggle with addiction has shown that she is not always able to maintain that control, especially when confronted with familiar triggers. Jordan Wilde, for better or worse, is a trigger. The very nature of his return suggests that Nikki will be forced to confront feelings she has worked hard to bury. Whether she succumbs to temptation or finds a way to maintain her sobriety will likely depend on her ability to stay grounded and the strength of her relationships with those who care about her. If Jordan begins to re-enter Nikki's life in a way that feels like a threat to her peace, it could push her to a breaking point. Or, on the other hand, Nikki might use this as an opportunity to prove to herself and to her family that she is stronger than ever. As Jordan Wilde returns to Genoa City, Nikki Newman faces a pivotal moment in her life, with a history of addiction and a complicated relationship with Jordan. The risk of her slipping back into old habits is ever present. However, whether she chooses to start drinking again will depend on the strength of her resolve, the support of her family, and how she navigates the temptation that Jordan represents. The drama that will unfold in Nikki's world promises to be as intense and unpredictable as ever. And one thing is certain, her battle for control and sobriety will remain a central emotional story on The Young and the Restless.